Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has come to an official conclusion, and Mario Kart Tour is falling into the realm of lost media as we speak, meaning that Mario Kart X is on the horizon. So let's build the perfect retro course selection for it. Since this is going to be the 10th installment in the series, I figured that it was very important that every game is represented equally and fairly. Alongside that, I also made sure that they're all balanced in terms of themes and debut cups. Additionally, I also made sure that we didn't have too many fan favorite maps, but also not too many mediocre maps. Finally, I thought it was fair that I picked maps based off of whether they've been remade recently or at all. As you can tell, I put a lot of thought into this to make sure it's all balanced. I'll be going over all of those maps in the order of their respective debut games, with the exception of the inevitable Bowser's Castle and Rainbow Road retros, because they're being saved for last. Before we begin, I'd like to point out that I think there will be 50 courses in the base game, 25 nitros, and 25 retros, and that they will all be sorted by 10 cups of 5. This is because if we get a booster course pass for this game, which is very likely, they can double it and advertise the game with 100 different maps to play on. Obviously, there are so many different ways to format that, but this is how I think they'll do it. Anyways, let us begin. Starting with SNES, I think we will only have 2 of those maps, being Vanilla Lake and Chocolate Island. Neither of those, nor their variants, have been in any of the recent console games, so it's only fair that these are the ones to return. Koopa Beach also fits the same criteria, but I left it out due to thematic overlap, which will make sense later in the video. You're probably wondering, which variants of Vanilla Lake and Chocolate Island am I even talking about? Well, all of them. I think instead of just Vanilla Lake 1, Vanilla Lake 2, and Chocolate Island 1, Chocolate Island 2, they should just be combined into one giant map and have changing laps. Lap changing is a gimmick that the Tour courses introduced in 8 Deluxe's BCP, so it would be a cool idea to incorporate it into normal maps, let alone maps that are generally very short and simple, to give them some pizzazz. They should just use the existing variants to combine and form a mega route out of, and maybe even throw in some of Tour's RMX courses. For Choco Island specifically, they can bring back the scrapped Choco Island 3 course from Super Mario Kart that was later replaced by SNES Rainbow Road. Moving on to N64. I have selected 3 N64 tracks to return. The first one I have in mind is Banshee Boardwalk from the Special Cup. Every game needs its spooky themed map, and I think this is the perfect choice because it has a lot of potential. It's kinda similar to the Boo Lake we have today, and they can make an underwater section just like it. I also hope they would keep the pitch black setting because it just makes the track as creepy as it is. It would be really cool if there was a light following your character and you can only see within a small radius. Combined with the tight turns in the house, it would call for some excellent gameplay. The second track I have in mind is Frappe Snowland from the Flower Cup. Besides Vanilla Lake, there weren't really many snow or ice tracks left to return since most of them are in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe now. I could have picked N64 Sherbet Land, but that was recently in Mario Kart Wii and I feel like it would be too similar to a modern day Vanilla Lake anyway. Frappe Snowland is just the most fair choice for a snow-themed map. Finally, I have N64 Wario Stadium from the Star Cup. Quick and easy, this track has never been remade at all, and we don't have any other Stadium, Coliseum, dirt tracks in this roster, so it's only fair to include this one. Moving on to the Super Circuit GBA tracks, I also have 3 in mind for this one. The first one would be GBA Yoshi Desert from the Star Cup. Again, this track has never been remade in a console game before, and we also need some good desert tracks to race on. Much like the snow map situation I just explained, this was one of the 2 options that I think was most fair to return in terms of desert tracks. Mario Kart Tour did a revamp of this course, but it was a really basic revamp, so I'm thinking they should just improve that so it's a full-fledged revamp and not just some flat desert. The second GBA map I have in mind is Lakeside Park from the Special Cup. Again, never remade in a console game, but Mario Kart Tour's remake definitely makes it earn a spot here. Not only is it a huge revamp, but on the final lap, it becomes night and the volcano erupts, making it a fiery setting. This gimmick needs to shine bright in Mario Kart X. Sorry Sunset Wilds, you had your chance in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and you failed, miserably. Finally, the third pick I have is Cheep Cheep Island. It is from the only Nitro Course Lightning Cup in the series, and it's the only one from that cup to not have been remade in a console game, so it's only fair to include it. Before we proceed, I just want to say that if you're enjoying this video, definitely subscribe to this channel because there are more Mario Kart X videos to come. Anyways, next up, we have the Double Dash courses. For this one, I only have 2. Why? It'll make sense later. The first track I have is Peach Beach from the Mushroom Cup. You're probably wondering, it was in Mario Kart Wii, which is pretty recent, so why is it here? Well, I don't think we're getting any of the circuit tracks due to having other circuit tracks in the list, and a decent amount of GCN maps return in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This was one of the few options left. I mean, they could still do a lot with this course, like setting the final lap to go backwards because of this little roundabout right here. My second choice is Mushroom City from the Star Cup. My reasoning for this is quite simple. It has never been remade, and it's the only course in the entire list that takes place solely in a city. This is the most fair choice in my opinion. And you're probably wondering, where is Wario Coliseum? It has also never been remade. Well, just wait. Moving on to the DS tracks. I have 3 maps in mind for this one. My first pick is Figure 8 Circuit from the Mushroom Cup. Like I mentioned earlier, we need a good balance between tracks that are typically loved, neutralized, or despised. Figure 8 Circuit is a map that not many people like, and it has never been revamped before. We are going to have circuit track retros without a doubt. This map has lots of room for improvement. They can make a forest section like they did with DS Mario Circuit, or just make it look like Mario Kart 8's Mario Circuit, because that is also just an 8. My second pick is Airship Fortress from the Star Cup. Yes, this map has already been remade in Mario Kart 7, which is quite recent, so why did I pick this? Well, opposite reason to why I chose Figure 8 Circuit. This map is loved by nearly every Mario Kart player. This was also one of the most anticipated fan favorite tracks for 8 Deluxe's BCP, but it didn't return. The roster should have the ultimate fan favorite retro course, and I believe Airship Fortress should be the one. It would also be nice to see a fire map that isn't Bowser's Castle. Finally, my third pick is Delfino Square from the Flower Cup. I picked this one because I was lacking in the Flower Cup department. In Mario Kart DS, the Flower Cup has Desert Hills, Delfino Square, Waluigi Pinball, and Shroom Ridge. The last 2 are in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and the first 2 were both last seen all the way back in Mario Kart Wii. I decided to pick Delfino Square because just like Peach Beach, it has the perfect setup to go backwards, and we need at least one track that takes place in the fall. Up next is the Mario Kart Wii tracks. I only have 2 for this one. Most of the Wii tracks are in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe already, so that leaves me with very few options. My first choice is Wii Mario Circuit from the Flower Cup. Again, I was lacking in the Flower Cup department, and we need more circuit tracks. DS Figure 8 Circuit was the bad circuit track pick, while Wii Mario Circuit is actually a decent circuit track pick. And of course, it was never revamped. That's really all I have to justify this choice. My second choice is Dry Dry Ruins from the Special Cup. This is here for the same reason as Yoshi Desert. It has never been remade in a console game, and we need some nice desert tracks. Also, it was the only Wii course in Mario Kart Tour that didn't make it into the Booster Course Pass, which is odd because it is a huge fan favorite course. It's just fair in every aspect to include Dry Dry Ruins in Mario Kart X. Now it's time for the Mario Kart 7 3DS maps. I have 3 in mind for this one. One from each cup that isn't the Special Cup, because 3 of those maps are in 8 Deluxe and the other one is a Bowser's Castle. From the Mushroom Cup, I chose Shy Guy Bazaar. Why? Simple. Evidence shows that it was supposed to be in Mario Kart 8's original DLC, but got scrapped in favor of GBA Cheeseland. You would think that it would return in the Booster Course Pass too, but nope. It has faced enough negligence. From the Flower Cup, I chose Woohoo Loop. 2 maps from this cup are already in 8 Deluxe, and we don't need a third circuit track. Woohoo Loop is clearly the best option. I didn't combine it with Maka Woohoo like I did with the SNES maps because that would be way too long of a map. Finally, from the Star Cup, I chose Wario Shipyard. Again, this is the only fair choice from this cup. 2 of the maps are already in 8 Deluxe, and Maka Woohoo is less likely to come together with Woohoo Loop. Moving on to the Mario Kart 8 tracks. I have 3 in mind for this one. My first choice is Dragon Driftway from the Egg Cup. This one would be really hard to improve, but I have an idea. As we know, this map is based off of Super Mario Galaxy 2's boss, Gobblegut. Well, there's also a fire version of this map, so Dragon Driftway can return as a fire-themed map with a fiery Gobblegut theme. That's a great way to add to this course and make it stand out from the original. My second choice is Sunshine Airport from the Star Cup. I chose this one because it's one of the most simple nitro courses from its debut game, meaning that there is lots of room for improvement. They can easily add so much and even revamp the small platform section here to make it longer. There's a lot they can do to this map to make it feel different from the original. Finally, I have Sweet Sweet Canyon from the Mushroom Cup. I chose this because we literally don't have any food and sweets themed map besides Choco Island. This is here for thematic reasons. In terms of improvement, I don't really know what they can do to make it feel different. Maybe just change the color scheme? I don't know. But anyways, last game you guys, Mario Kart Tour. It was extremely easy for this one. I only have 2 maps. The first one is Piranha Plant Pipeline. It was the only tour course to not make it to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's BCP, so it's practically guaranteed a spot in Mario Kart X. My second pick is Ninja Hideaway. I chose this one because it didn't get a chance at getting a proper revamp due to being in Wave 1 of the BCP, where almost all of the maps are very poor quality. They can improve this one by a long shot. Finally, let's talk about the Bowser's Castle and Rainbow Road courses. I wanted to pick something that wasn't very recent, so basically anything from Mario Kart Wii and after. And obviously, I picked variants that have never been remade in a console game before. For Bowser's Castle, I chose the one from Mario Kart Double Dash. This is the oldest Bowser's Castle that hasn't been remade yet. And I understand that some of the GBA Bowser's Castle variants haven't been remade in console games, but I'm counting them as one in this case because that would just be unfair. This is also why I didn't pick Wario Coliseum, because they're in the same cup. For Rainbow Road, I chose the one from Mario Kart DS. This is one of the 3 older Rainbow Roads to have never been remade. I think it's the perfect choice. I know GCN and GBA are older, which kind of goes against my previous statement, but GBA seems too short and simple to end off the game's maps, and GCN honestly seems like the most wanted Rainbow Road course to return, so I feel like it's better off to end off Mario Kart X's booster course pass. Anyways, that's all of the maps. I made sure to keep a balance between everything. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Peace out!